That was Lisa speaking. She's got a bit of a Yank accent. All yours, Andrew. Thank you.
Fantastic. So after chatting with Lee, I thought it'd be a good opportunity, especially with the garden show coming up, to tell you a bit about what we're doing this year and sort of plants we're promoting this year, and a little bit of what we've done in the past, and how we deal with Mifcus and what we get out of it. Because we think from a marketing point of view of plants, it is a pretty incredible event, and we take the opportunity to really promote plants through it, and over the years it has flowed through to garden centre sales too. So there's our beautiful garden there. That was a couple of years ago now, and that was done with Robert Boyle, and all those plants there were sort of supersized because of the delays over the years with COVID. So it was quite an incredible garden, that one. And just the way Robert Boyle used that vista through the garden up to the building, it's sort of world class, isn't it?
It was sensational, Andrew. I visited a number of times, took a number of photos. Yeah. It was fantastic.
I think it was.
I was obsessed with the I wanted all of those. If you could have sold them a million times over the hydrangea.
Well, we'll definitely talk about the hydrangeas, because I think over the years that has been the plant of Mifcus.
Yes.
And generally because that's the time of year when they flower.
Yep.
Well, it's not really. It's the time of year we grow them to flower at that time of year. So we cut them back quite late, and we want them flowering during autumn. You could get them flowering in start of summer if you wanted to, but we try to get them flowering in late autumn, not just for Mifcus, but we think it's better for garden centre sales to sell them when the weather's just starting to cool down after summer too. I'll move on here. So, we put this on and we thought, the demographic, they're not all over 70s. They go to the garden show. 75% are under 64, and they're all the garden centre, Melbourne Garden Centre customers, because most of them are from Melbourne. That's the back of our garden there, which was phenomenal too. So hydrangea paniculatus, which we're growing more and more hydrangea paniculatus because of demand, and I think a lot of that demand has sort of stemmed through Mifcus, especially Sunday Fraise. That's what we had in our garden. And our garden centre sales were phenomenal. Then, probably during the show, we pretty much sold out straight away because all the garden centres were topping up. And that was, during the show, every person that came to the stand, came to the garden, generally just about every question was about the hydrangea. So that's how phenomenal it is. Yeah. And so that was our garden there that we did with Robert Boyle. And then over the years, we've always used a lot of paniculatas in the garden too. That was one with Robert Boyle. We did a garden with the greenery, we had paniculatas too. So I think they've pretty much been the plant of the garden show. So we will have more showcase this year too, which we'll talk about a little bit later. During the year, we've had we've highlighted plants like our living pergolas, not necessarily for great for garden centre sales. But talking to Nathan Burkett about this garden, he said he had 5 front covers of landscape magazines with this garden. And one of them was in France. It was the French landscape magazine had his garden on the front cover. So for promotional reasons, Mifcus is quite incredible, really. I was going to go backwards. I won't try to stub it up. Legal area. We've got a lot more we grow a lot more Ligularia now, and they've been a plant to the garden show over the years. But demand for Ligularia is still so strong. We're growing more sort of bigger ones in 25 centimetre pots now, which will have some of them on display in some of the gardens at Mifcus again, in some of the sort of semi-shade areas of some of the show gardens. And but we still can't keep up with demand. Maybe the bubble will burst one day, but at the moment we can't keep up with growing enough stock of Ligularia. That's what it's going to do. Actually, I'll go back. If I can. Oh no, I'm going forward. No, I haven't used this computer book. So ball topiaries, we've got a over the years, once again in the garden show, we've used a lot of ball topiaries. We had these clipped teucrium on our stand, and since then, for all of those, especially with coastal gardens, clipped teucrium and clipped coria have been huge sellers, and a lot of designers are specifying them in many gardens. So, they're being promoted through the garden show. Next. That was the teucrium on our garden there. Yeah, look quite incredible. That's what I mean by having them super sized. So they're about 2 years older than they were going to be. Those teucrium, but we sell them in 40 centimeter pots, and we're thinking about doing a range of slightly smaller ones too, which would be good for garden centre sales, especially if you had some bigger clip, larger ones too.
Do they need more maintenance in the pots apart from the trimming? They need more feeding because you'd be trimming them all the time, aren't you?
The teucrium do need a lot of maintenance. They grow very quickly. We do a lot of restringias, and we're doing restringias in super size ones too, and in that standard 30 centimeter pot. Designers like them in 3 different sizes for their designs. So we're sort of heading towards having 3 different sizes, where at the moment we've sort of got 2, but we might do a different size. And I think, I think having them displayed at garden centres, I think, just the overall popularity of balls in garden design, would have to throw through to the general punter going into garden centres and wanting to buy plants too. There are more balls there. Raffios, Raffios have been a stock standard Mifkis plant as well, used in a lot of gardens. We've got some sort of almost like clip balls going into a garden that Semken are doing with the Irish designer, can't remember his name this year, Peter Donnelly. He's doing a garden. They all have some nice clip Raffios.
We've lost you a little bit, Andrew. Something's frozen.
Deal a lot with landscapes. Big landscapes.
Yeah, you can see.
You hear us, Andrew?
It's not quite our market, a lot of it, but it's interesting what we're promoting.
What you can totally is everything you can do. So you do it if you got the time.
You there, Andrew? Andrew is working with the generator where there's a power problem. As you heard, they've had enormous storms up there. I was wondering if in fact we were going to have a problem getting anybody, but I think we've lost him completely now. He's dropped off our screen. Mitchell, you must have muted your screen now according to my screen. Okay, we'll see if Andrew can log in again. Clearly something happened there. But if you were here early, they've had huge storms, trees down everywhere, all sorts of things happening. So they may well have even lost power again, who knows? Let's see if he can come back in. I'll give him a call on the phone, so bear with us. Sorry about this. Probably lucky to get them at all by the sound of it. And come back now.
G'day there.
We've lost you. Have you lost power?
Yes, we lost power and now it's coming back on. So
All right.
I'm just trying to rejoin.
All right. Fun.
Disaster.
Okay, we'll just chat amongst ourselves a little bit longer. Thanks, Andrew. Okay, thank you. I hope you all heard that. Dear me.
Stay tuned. He'll be back.
Stay tuned. Why doesn't Elise have a quick chat about 1 tree per child? Who here on the screen hasn't heard about 1 tree per child? Let's start with that. GCA's latest initiative. So does that mean yes or no? David?
I've read about it, but I haven't heard about it.
Right, or we'll get to you. Reading will give you a bit. Anybody else know anything about it or not heard about it? We're just killing a bit of time while waiting for Andrew to come back on.
Sorry about that. Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything about that one.
Okay, well, ask your manager, whose name is, I'm thinking, Matt. Ask Matt, he gets all the information on his email. But so, anyway, I'll get Lisa to talk about it. Yes, you're coming to the gig function, I think, Matt. We've got you down for 3 people. Mitch, I should say, you've been invited to that.
I haven't heard anything yet, but I'm sure when
Okay.
it gets closer to the date, that'll come through.
All right, well, it's not far away, so chat to Matt. Lisa, while we're waiting for Andrew, I'm sorry, people, but maybe Lisa could just very quickly fill you in on where we're at with One Tree Per Child. We reckon it's going to be a great program, promotion to bring customers through your doors. That's the aim of it, really. But go for it, Lisa.
Hi, everyone. So you've perhaps heard about One Tree Per Child that was instituted, the foundation, by Olivia Newton-John and John Dee. So they implemented it through schools and councils to encourage the act of planting a tree and the benefits of that to the environment. We're wanting to carry that through and collaborate with garden centres and offer some value and promote the activity of gardening as a healthy, fun family activity. So I myself, and talking to a lot of other people, you know, a lot of us our love of gardening has often come from our grandparents and sometimes parents, but that sort of that seems to be the general way of it. So what we were looking to do was the program would be such that you know, a grandparent looking to, you know, to purchase a gift for a child, being a tree, a plant, a shrub, but rather than it just being a one-off purchase and one activity, we've put together an activity pack to promote the activity of gardening for children, to make it fun and to bring them back to you and to bring local community back into the garden centre and offer some value. Some of the garden centres I've spoken to so far have said to me that, you know, pre-COVID, they'd had more things for children and activities and school holidays activities, and perhaps that's something that they've perhaps let fall by the wayside because they've been so busy since. But we're thinking that this project as an ongoing project for you is going to help you drawing families back into the garden centre, and as I say, promoting gardening again as, you know, as a fun activity and an ongoing activity.
Any questions? We're still waiting for Andrew. I don't know whether they're pedaling a bit harder to get that power going, but obviously they're on a portable generator somewhere or other, so we might be badly messed up from the look of it.
Mm.
Any thoughts or any questions from anybody? Russell, you generally seem to read the e-news reasonably well, pretty well normally.
You checking up on me?
Yeah. That's the beauty of MailChimp. You can actually see who's actually opened it. Doesn't mean you've read it, but I know whether you've opened it or not. So Big Brother's watching.
Yeah, it's a trouble. Yeah, so how's it going to work on our side? How are we going to, what are we getting, or how are we going to sell it to our customers?
Okay. Well, we'll be giving you posters of some sort, which will say something like ask about One Tree Per Child.
Yep.
We are producing some activity kits that Lisa mentioned. We do have a sample, and these kits are available for all sorts of things. The Royal Show has a number, and some people have them. We would be having, as they call it, what's the trendy word?
Bespoke.
A bespoke kit
Instead
made.
of customised, they call it bespoke.
Customised kit, especially for GCA and One Tree Per Child. So it will all be totally garden focused. There will be a planting kit, but the aim is for parents, grandparents to be attracted to come into garden centres. A lot of you have the parents and grandparents coming in anyway. You'll have signage. Hopefully the staff will maybe occasionally chat to them if they've got a child with them or even haven't know them. There will be social media, obviously, but the aim is to take that plant and plant it with the child and show them what's involved. And that's what the planting guide will do. That is part of the kit. There's also a certificate in this little booklet that the grandparent or parent can sign. So the child has that as some sort of a commemorative certificate. And there'll be lots of activities within the booklet that for all again garden and plant focused. So we've got a little way to go yet. We've said launch in June. These kits are coming from China because the price will be very reasonable. But you will get a charge, but it won't be excessive. I'll just talk to Warners. Excuse me, Andrew.
We're trying to join the meeting again.
Right.
Can you see us there?
I have now. Yes.
Okay.
You've just popped up.
Yeah. Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
I'll see you in a second.
Okay. Thank you.
Lee, before Andrew hops back on,
Yep.
Could I just suggest instead of saying it just for grandparents or parents, maybe it might be better to have a broader term like caregiver.
Custodians was the term that that we've got used. Would you be happy with that? Custodians?
I think that sounds a little bit too ownership of it. It's just that I know at my kids' primary school, they've broadened the wording with parents and caregivers. So am I profile just looking into that, because I think
friends and carers.
Friends and carers, or I just think that saying parents or grandparents could be a little bit putting it in a box.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Thank you. We originally
even
had
your nieces or nephews or anyone like that, like not just carers, like people that you want to spend time with would be great.
We're trying not to restrict it. I mean, the program is 1 tree per child, and that's the logo. But we've broadened it in all the editorial to say plant or tree and shrub. So we're not. But anyway, Andrew is now back, I believe. Or is he? Yes, he is. Andrew, you need to unmute Andrew. So he's back, but we haven't got sound. His vision is back.
Yep.
Andrew,
he's getting there. Oh, I love that.
Can you hear us, Andrew? I think you need to unmute according to my screen. I'm sorry about this, everybody, but you've all seen obviously what happened with the weather, and that's what's causing the problem still. I'll just call him and ask him to unmute because he's obviously
Just having issues.
okay. You need to unmute. I think you've done it now. Okay, thanks.
Okay, back on the short delay.
Here we go. Okay.
I think our power came back on, and when our power came back on through our generator, stuffed everything up. So,
oh dear me, I feel for you. Anyway,
nothing's easy. So this year at NIFCUS, we're going to highlight quite a few plants in show gardens. We're in one of the big show gardens, one by Riley Cooper. He's got our big 50-centimetre lemon lime spire. And, there we're sort of, keeping them in a cold place to get them to colour up. So there'll be 5 or 6 of those in a garden. And they'll be, they're our biggest plants we've got, our big 50-centimetre plants. So they'll be really good. So that's the fastigiate form of ginkgo, the lemon lime spire. I'll just move along. So
plant of the year according to Ian last year.
Yeah, well, I think it's starting to catch on with designers, that lemon lime spire. Instead of using a capital pear, we're starting to see them come through on this for those on designs for those narrow spaces, down driveways, that type of thing. Yep. So it's a pretty useful plant, and especially the ginkgo with all the Chinese medicine, used in Chinese medicine for mental health. That's really topical at the moment. So I think it's got a lot going for it.
Yep, it's great.
Marketing plan. Alecarpus Mundi, which, Michael Warner's got a fantastic hedge of this at his place at Surrey Hills, which is narrow and very thin and tall and blocks out the monstrosity that's being built next door. So I think Eleocarpus mundi is a fantastic plant. And we grow big numbers of it now. So in the same garden with Riley Cooper, we've got, I think, 10 as a big screen. So I think the general public viewing that garden will really like that, and they'll be asking a lot of questions about Eleocarpus mundi. So we've got a lot. We've got also. So these will be our massive, big 90-litre ones, but we'll have we've got a lot of 40-centimetre pots coming through. Magnolia Sweet Carolina. That is our Magnolia grandiflora of choice now. That's the one we grow the most of, and that is because it's such a beautiful, natural pyramidal shaped grower. For that row, individual plantings of pyramidal shaped trees, Sweet Carolina is the best. Flowers really well. We've got the plants at the moment are just covered in buds. So in the Lawn Solutions garden this year, we've got 5 big 90-litre Sweet Carolina, and they look amazing. And they're going to look fantastic at the show. So we do a lot of Sweet Carolina now, and we've got plenty of 40-centimetre pots available, but those big 70 and 90-litre ones are incredible. We're doing a lot of plants for Phil Withers. So Phil Withers, he's doing a coastal garden with Fiona Brockhoff, which they're 2 great designers, and we'll be highlighting our big Banksia Sentinel. We're growing some advanced ones for their garden. We've also got a lot in 30-centimetre pots for general sale, but the ones in the garden will be the big ones. Also in that garden, he'll use his clipped coria balls. And we're also growing a few, some plants we're trialling, which Phil has got us to trial, which some of them could become mainstay, coastal pallet plants, like a Pomadermis and a Olearia and a tall shrub Myoporum. So those sort of things will be interesting at the show, but they're going to flow through later on. But Banksia Sentinels will be a highlight. Pseudopanics. So once again, in Riley's garden, we're growing this plant, and a lot of designers love it, especially, guys like Jack Merlot, who are doing these garden designs for these multi-story unit developments, where they have that internal shady courtyard. So Pseudopanics is like a compact, very compact growing Morea, and great for that urban lush look, and also in those low light areas. So in Riley's garden, we're going to have, I think it's about 9 in big chunky 40-centimetre pots in the garden, which will be part of the landscape. But for general sale, we've got a heap of 30-centimetre pots coming through, and we might even have some 20-centimetre pots as well. So something fairly new, but really great plant. I've got some at home. Growing inside in a pot too, as almost like a shrub inside. Grows really well inside. It's been inside for probably, or maybe 16 months, and looks fantastic. We're doing these Spartan. These are, Juniper Spartan is a bit boring, but we've clipped some into clouds at the nursery, which we're using in Riley's garden as well. So, I love the idea of cloud pruning. We're doing a lot of cloud pruning now, not just Spartan, but olives and camellias. But I thought, these are going to be highlighted in the garden. That I just thought, maybe for a garden centre, I don't know what to call it when you have someone coming in or doing a presentation in front of people coming into your retail nursery, but showing them how to make a cloud tree could be a fantastic thing. I think people would love that, or maybe they wouldn't know what it is, but they'd love the idea of having this sort of topiary. And Spartans are just so easy to do it with too. that we're going to grow more. We probably won't grow too many bush spartan, but we're going to do a lot more topiary of them.
Yeah, great.
So interesting, but you know, we're working in with an olive grove, and we're trimming some olives in the olive grove into cloud trees, and we'll dig them up at a certain time down in the future as well. So cloud trees are really popular. All designers love them. Yeah, lemoniaceous. We're doing a big garden and courtyard limes. We're doing a big edibles garden with Montague Orchards. We've sort of got them on board. They're our neighbours here. As long as all their apples haven't blown down in the storm yesterday, they'll be doing a garden at Mifkus, and we're supplying all the plants. So we've grown some apples for them, espaliered apples, some bush apples, and we're also doing a lot of other edibles. Like we'll do our lemoniaceous. We've grown some super-sized 70-litre lemoniaceous, which are incredible, like big clip balls in 70-litre, and same with the limes. So they'll be great display plants, and you know, we'll be pushing the story then. We'll be doing some talks on their exhibit about compact edibles, which will include lemoniaceous, courtyard lime, and figalicious, which we've got some compact figs coming through now, which are fantastic. And also, well, there'll be pomegranates on the stand. I don't know if there's a really good fruiting dwarf pomegranate, one that fruits really well. I know there's some dwarf ones, but no, maybe the ones that don't fruit so well. But and also olives, you know, compact olives. Our garden harvest is clip balls, so that we'll be talking about that on their stand. So we'll have plenty of lemoniaceous. There's plenty of lemoniaceous and courtyard limes available in 25-centimetre pots through autumn, through the garden show.
Have you copyrighted Figalicious?
No, I think it's actually a Touch of Class Green Hills plant.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, well, they'll have copyright then, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, as I said, we've got some incredible apple espaliers that we're growing, which we'll showcase on the stand. And we're doing more sort of those espaliers. We've got some great pears at the moment. And I think some of the pears are going on the Montague stand too. So they'll look really good. That's just a little bit about Warner's. I think everyone knows Warner's, but we are looking probably not so quite accredited right at the moment with half the nursery lying on the ground, but we will get it back to looking beautiful again.
Yeah, it must break your heart when it's been, I mean, it's always looked sensational, always.
Yeah.
Even back in the Warrigal Road days, which is how far back I go. I mean, you'd walk in there and you would just feel fantastic. You know,
we still have new people come out to the nursery and they're just amazed at how beautiful it is. How, you know, we love those straight rows. And, you know, I talk to them about accredited nurseries, which isn't just Warner's, but you know, how we're doing your customers a service by growing plants weed-free, and how, you know, sometimes you can go to the multi-markets and other places like that. We see orders that have been sitting there for a little while. And because what some of the growers do that have weed-infested nurseries, they scrape the weeds out, put a bit of fresh potting mix on top, and 2 weeks later, all the weeds are popping up again. So that's why we value hygiene so much, and we also do it for our customers and also their customers too.
Absolutely.
So
any questions, people, for Andrew? Under a lot of pressure and strain, but you've got it done now. You'll be going out and busily tidying up, or you get out of it. I reckon be all hands on deck, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, we've got to. Well, all the staff are all on board with the cleanup, and even you know how we have another nursery which is just down the road.
Yep.
Which is about 2 kilometres down the road, didn't get touched.
Really? No,
didn't get touched. So you should only see some of the pictures. I might send Lee some pictures.
Yeah, do that. Yep.
And then you can put them up because it was just devastating. Okay. The wind was like a tornado. It was scary, very scary. So
any questions, people? You've got the expert here. This will be at Mifkus. How many of you get to Mifkus? I mean, I know it's difficult for a lot of people in rural areas, but you know, a lot of customers go, and a lot of them get ideas from me, and if this is a bit of an advance warning of what's going to be on Warner's area, but others, of course. But any questions from anybody on Andrew or anything that has been covered here?
I was just wondering what time the wind came through, Andrew. Was it yesterday afternoon?
It was right on 3:30.
Yeah, that's when I noticed it too.
And sort of 20 minutes later, it was gone.
Wow.
It was, you would not have been able to stand up in it. No way.
And you had staff still there when that?
Yeah, we had all the staff was still here, and everyone was safe. No one got damaged. But out the front, so we went out the front because, as I said, there were 20 something trees just outside our front gate, all down on the road. So all the cars had stopped. There were people. Wow. There was 2 or 3 cars with smashed windows. It was carnage.
Wow, it was full on in town, but yeah, that's scary.
I think we were, because sort of I'm in Ringwood. I rang up home. They didn't even know there was a storm, so we're right in the belt of it. I think.
Yeah, all right. Ringwood's here.
Very good. Any other questions? No.
I like this picture here. That was our garden when we did our big show garden year before last. These little bits Robert Boyle had in his locked away in a shed at his place. And he collected them all, through adventures through France. So it's fantastic. Like these shutters and these wheelbarrows and things like that. He collected them in France and had them shipped over. Quite incredible.
It's the little vignettes and photos you have, isn't it? That just shows a part of it. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew and Ian, we really appreciate it. I mean, you've had a terrible time yesterday, but here you are. You put your best foot forward and you've entertained us as I knew you would. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
My pleasure.
I will send the recording to everybody, the link. And Michelle, thank you for that comment on 1 tree per child. I mean, we are certainly not the fonts of all knowledge. We hope for feedback. And we really get it, so we do appreciate it. Say what you think. We're learning all the time. We've got a little bit more time to put this together, but with a 12-week lead time with this pack, which I think you'll be delighted with when you see it. We've just got to keep it moving. So thank you, everybody. I'll now stop the recording and thank you all. And we'll catch up with you next week if people are coming. I'll send the link through for PMA. I haven't got any other growers for the next couple of weeks, but I'm about to start asking some of the New South Wales ones, which will give us a bit of change in variety, but nobody locked in yet. So again, thank you, everybody, and keep out of danger. I don't know.